You know, everybody wants to be happy. It's got to be one of the most universal human goals on the entire planet. But if that's true, why does it so often feel like it's just out of reach? Right? Why do we wake up some days feeling kind of empty or unfocused or just lost, even when, on paper, nothing is wrong? Well, the science behind this is absolutely fascinating. And let me tell you, the answer is not what you might expect. So today, we're going to break down the real science of happiness, what it's made of, what's messing with it, and how you can actually rebuild it, not by chance, but by chemistry. Okay, so let's just dive right in with a slightly uncomfortable truth. Your brain's number one job is not to make you happy. Nope. Its job is to keep you alive. And that one fundamental piece of wiring, well, that's the first piece of our whole puzzle. See, our brains evolved in a time when danger was, literally lurking around every corner. So to survive, they developed this thing scientists call the negativity bias. And what this means is that your mind is basically like Velcro for bad experiences and Teflon for good ones. It's designed to remember that one single threat over 1,000 moments of peace. And this is exactly why happiness doesn't just happen. For most of us, it has to be trained. So whenever you find yourself overthinking at night or worrying about things that probably will never happen, that's just your ancient survival system working overtime in our weird, modern, and pretty safe world. Your brain isn't your enemy, it's just an overeager bodyguard. The real key is learning how to work with it. So how do we work with it? Well, by understanding that happiness isn't some magical, abstract thing, it's chemistry. There are 4 main chemicals, these neurotransmitters, that are responsible for creating all the feelings we call happiness: dopamine, serotonin, oxytocin, and endorphins. So let's break them down one by one. First up, we've got dopamine. You've probably heard of it as the reward chemical. But here is the crucial misunderstanding that trips everyone up. Dopamine isn't about having the reward. It's all about the chase. It's that thrill of anticipation, the motivation that makes you get up and go after something. And this really shows you the 2 sides of dopamine. When it's in balance, it's the engine of our ambition. But our modern world is just jam-packed with dopamine traps. I'm talking endless social media feeds, constant notifications, fast food. They all offer a constant chase with no real prize. And when the system gets abused, it leads to addiction, that feeling of emptiness right after you achieve something, and that constant sense of never ever being satisfied. It gives you these spikes of pleasure, but not that deep contentment. And that is where our next chemical, serotonin, comes into play. If dopamine is the spike, serotonin is the foundation. It's the stability chemical. It's what gives you that feeling of being calm and confident and just secure in yourself and your place in the world. It's the perfect counterbalance to dopamine's frantic chase. And unlike that intense pursuit that triggers dopamine, serotonin comes from slow, gentle, and consistent habits. We're talking about things like getting some morning sunlight, taking a walk, feeling gratitude, or even just that simple satisfaction you get from completing a small task. It's really the quiet hero of our emotional well-being. This is such a critical insight. So often we say we lack motivation. That's that dopamine-driven chase, when what we're actually missing is that stable, confident base that only serotonin can provide. I mean, you can't build a skyscraper on a shaky foundation, right? Next up, we have oxytocin, the connection chemical. This is that warm, fuzzy feeling you get from a hug or a really deep conversation with a friend, or just feeling trusted and loyal. It's basically the chemical glue for all of our social bonds. And what's wild is just how vital our brain thinks connection is. It processes social rejection and loneliness in the exact same regions that it processes physical pain. Think about that. We are biologically hardwired to need each other. Emotional connection is literally as essential as food and water. And finally, there are endorphins. Think of these guys as your body's own natural painkillers. They get released in response to stress or discomfort, anything from an intense workout to a good laugh or even a hard cry. They're like emotional shock absorbers, masking the pain and giving you this amazing sense of relief and calm afterwards. Okay, so if we have this amazing chemical toolkit inside all of us, why are rates of anxiety and depression higher than ever before? Well, it's because modern life has set up a series of traps that throw our natural chemistry completely out of whack. It really boils down to this. Our lives are just overloaded with cheap dopamine and starved of real serotonin. We have thousands of online connections, but we're lacking those deep oxytocin-rich relationships. Our brains are overwhelmed with information they were never designed to process. We're constantly comparing our real lives to someone else's curated highlight reel, and we chronically deprive ourselves of sleep, which just tanks our serotonin levels. Now, I know that sounds bleak, but here is the good news. Understanding this system is the first, most important step to taking back control. You absolutely have the power to consciously influence your brain's chemistry. So, how do we do it? Let's break down the strategy. To check this out, researchers have this formula they call the 40-10-50 rule. About 50% of your baseline happiness is determined by your genetics. Okay, and a surprisingly small 10% comes from your life circumstances, like your job, your income, where you live, which leaves a massive chunk left over. And that leaves us with this number, a full 40%. This is where our power is. It's not about winning the lottery or having a perfect life. It's all about the small, intentional, consistent things you do every single day. So what are these habits? They're actually incredibly simple. Get 10 minutes of morning sun, that boosts your serotonin. Complete a tiny task, like making your bed to get a nice hit of both dopamine and serotonin. Move your body for 20 minutes to release all 4 chemicals. Put the phone down to reduce that screen overload and reset your dopamine sensitivity. Take just 30 seconds to think of something you're grateful for, and make time for one meaningful human interaction. See? These aren't huge, life-altering changes. They're small levers with a really powerful chemical payoff. And all of this brings us to what might be the most important shift of all. We need to completely redefine what we're even aiming for. We've been sold a completely false idea of what happiness is supposed to be. We've been taught to chase these intense, huge, fleeting moments of pleasure, those big dopamine spikes we talked about. But real, lasting happiness, it's not about intensity, it's about consistency. It's not about the momentary explosion of fireworks in the sky. It's about building a solid foundation of well-being, brick by brick, habit by habit, that can actually withstand the inevitable storms that life throws at you.
And ultimately, it all comes down to this. The happiest people out there aren't necessarily the richest or the luckiest. They are simply the ones who have mastered the small, repeatable habits that calm their nervous system and nourish their brain with all the right chemical ingredients. You don't need to change your entire life to be happier. You just need to change your chemistry, one small choice at a time. That power isn't out there somewhere waiting to be found. It is already inside you, waiting to be activated. So the only question left is, how are you going to turn it on today?